and welcome to this episode of Q&A with the Hombre. Hope you guys had a great week. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. And, well, I'm here to answer questions, and let's talk tequila and agave spirits, right? So today I am sipping on one of my favorite budget extrañejos, actually my favorite budget extrañejo. It's Mejia Extraña. I love this stuff. It's really good. If you have somebody that likes Clase Azul or Don Julio 1942 and doesn't like spending that money and wants something that tastes really good, this is a great option for them. Turn them on to the Mejia Extraña. It's really good. So far, I've had a couple people that I've turned on to it that were Clase Azul and Casamigos drinkers, and they love it. They've actually bought a couple more bottles since their first one. And so it's a really good option, and it's for $76.99. It's a great price for a really good quality extrañejo. So I highly recommend it. And those people that have tried it have all come back and said that they loved it. So that's a good thing. Hey, Andy Sandoval, glad you could join me. Deputy, here we get it.
Deputy Sandoval, welcome. Glad you could make it. And we hope you're ready for duty. It's been a while since we've seen you, and we missed you, but we're glad you're back and ready for service.
There you go. Deputy Sandoval's back. So, yeah, so some great things have happened since the last time we had our Q&A. I had Carlos Camarena on Friday for an interview. It was great. He shared a lot of really great information, especially about the Mundial collection barrel that we're getting, the Lafric barrel, which is going to be great. The El Tesoro finished in Lafric barrels. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a great barrel buy for us for the collective. So those of you that are members of the collective, you guys get first shot at it. So you probably end up being the only ones that get it with the amount of demand that's been so far. And if you're not a member of the collective, if you go down in the description below, you'll see to join the Discord. With the Discord, you get collective membership included in it, basically for free. But then you become a part of our community on Discord, and it's a great group. Everyone gets together really nicely, and they share, they talk, and then I post all the information about the Tequila Barrel and Agave collective buys on the Discord. So it's $10 a month to join, and it's great option, a great way to get some accessibilities to some of these great buys that we're doing, especially the El Tesoro buy. And then we got some other stuff coming in too. And I'm going to be, for those of you that are new to the channel, I normally do these live streams on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then I post other reviews and stuff during the week as well. Next week will be my last week. Well, not my last week, but I'm going to, on the week of the 9th, I'm not going to be here. So I'm going to be in Mexico working on developing a brand with a client of mine. So I'll be gone there won't be any live streams that week, but look for some information and some posts on Instagram. I will try to post some content up on Instagram about what I'm doing there, as well as who I'm with. I'll be staying in Arandas there, so it'll be a lot of fun. And you guys can get some great accessibility to some of the great producers and stuff that I'll be hanging out with while I'm there in Arandas. So I hope you guys are following on Instagram. If you're not, get on Instagram and click the follow button there, and so you can see some of the content and stuff that we're going to be posting. So I won't have live streams the week of the 9th here on, so next week we will have live streams, and then the week after that I won't. So, but we'll try to post stuff on Instagram if the internet's good. If not, I'll have some good content when I come back to post stuff for you guys. So that's really good. All right, let's see. Hey, Hombre, hope you're having a good night. Thank you. I hope you're having a good night too, Kenny B. Deputy Sandoval's ready and now sipping the La Luna Mezcal. Nice. Okay, good. Naveen says, thanks for suggesting G4. I thoroughly enjoy. Okay, great. G4 is great stuff. Sean says, hola, having my very first sip of La Luna Tequila Mezcal. Thanks to your recommendations. Okay, great. That's awesome. Are you having the Ancestral or the Artisanal? Hopefully you picked up the Ancestral, because that one's really beautiful. The Artisanal's, the regular one that they have on the shelves. The Ancestral is a special batch that we got for the collective that's available on Ferment and Still, and that one's really, really good. So, do you pick El Luchador over G4? Why would I need to do that? I can have them both. Hello, Don R. How you doing, buddy? Glad you can make it. Tony Manzo, hola. Bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it, Tony. And Don R says, I'm still waiting for my order of G4 from Fermentus. Okay, it'll get there. Don't worry. They're all getting out there. So I don't know what, I can't do anything about it. Once it's shipped, it's gone. I don't do anything. So sometimes it takes longer. It all depends on how quickly the UPS handles the parcel. Now, people, I want you guys to understand something too. When stuff is shipped on Ferment and Still, it takes a little longer, and I apologize for that. Myself and the partners all apologize for that. But we ship out, hundreds of orders a day, hundreds. So we don't just have the guy in the brown shorts coming and picking up a package and taking it and beeping it and putting it in on his truck. We ship it on a pallet. It goes on a semi-truck. So it doesn't show up in tracking and stuff until they scan it at whatever hub it's going to on the UPS semi-truck, okay? So it goes in a big pallet, and they have to take all the packages off the pallet and then scan it. So sometimes it takes a few days for them to do that. It's just however fast it takes for them to truck the pallet to wherever that particular truck is going to offload the pallet so it can scan and get sent on its way through wherever it's going. So it'll make it there. Don't worry. It just takes a little longer, but we ship it the safest way possible. So your order arrives safe and in great shape and ready for you to drink and enjoy. So that's the key for us, is making sure it gets there safe. Okay, good. All right. So that's the deal. I mean, so, just it takes a little time. Be patient. It'll get there, but good things are worth waiting for, so it's not, we process so many orders. It's just, if you're in California or Arizona or on the West Coast, it gets, as soon as it ships, it gets the next day, because we use a different carrier for the West Coast. It gets there very quickly. And so those people enjoy very fast service, but the people on the East Coast, it takes a little while to get there. So just be patient and it will get there. So Don says, I'm 2,000 miles away. So yeah, I'm expecting at least, okay, good. There you go. See? Say, hola, I'm sipping on El Tequilino Anejo, really good stuff. What's your take on this? I've liked it, I reviewed it. Look for the review on the channel. I mean, you guys ask me about stuff, but just take a second. If you want to see my take on something, take a second and click on the search option on the YouTube channel and search El Tequilino Anejo, and you'll see the video on it. And I give all kinds of details on it. I even have reviews where I'm with Tony on the roof of his hotel, Tony Saez of El Tequilino, talking about things. So make sure you watch all those videos. If you like a brand or want to know about a brand, go back and watch those videos and see what information I'm sharing. What information I may have from the producers, because Tony Saez has been on a couple times. I had him on for a happy hour with the Hombre as well. And you can get, he even talked on the roof, talked about the differences between two versions of the anejo. So make sure you watch these videos, because they're chock full of information that can really make you guys kind of experts on some brands and stuff. When you listen to the information that's being shared, it's really good. So hey, Bonnie, how are you? Glad you can make it. Good to see Bonnie. Bonnie, bienvenido. Dos Pasiones Mezcal. Is that Miguel? Is that you? Hey, Miguel. How you doing, buddy? Glad you can make it. If you guys didn't watch the review that I did, the Mezcal Monday, where I had Miguel on, it was great. People have been thoroughly enjoying the Mezcal. I've been thoroughly enjoying drinking their Mezcal. If you haven't tried that Dos Pasiones yet, make sure you check it out on Ferment and Still and grab a bottle or all 3 bottles. It's really good stuff. It's beautiful, easy drinking. I really do enjoy it, and I do love going out and back and enjoying it with a good stogie as well. So those of you that like good stogies, it's a good Mezcal to drink with a good stogie. So what else do we got? Victor Santiago wants to know, what are you sipping tonight? I'm sipping Mahia Extraña, which is like an amazing extra anejo that's $76.99 a bottle. You can't beat it for the price, really. For people that don't want to spend a couple $100 on an extra anejo, this is a great option. You can buy 4 bottles, you know, for what you can pay for 1 bottle of extra anejo, and this stuff's just fantastic. It's got a really nice flavor profile. I really enjoy it. So if you haven't checked it out yet, pick up a bottle of fermented still. And what happens is normally when somebody picks up a bottle and then they try it, they come back and they buy 3 or 4 more. Because once the inventory that we have is gone, it's gone for good. It's not being made anymore, not imported into the US. So we just have what's left of it on inventory. And then once it's gone, it's gone. So you can't beat it for a $76.99 price. And I stocked up on it. I've got quite a few bottles. So, because I do enjoy it very much with a stogie out in the backyard, or just sipping it like now when I'm talking to you after dinner. And it's a very good extra anejo. You can't beat it for the price. Really, you can't. All right, so next we have Tapatio Tequila Extra Anejo Excelencia. What is a good price for this? I see it in 750 milliliters for $149. 750 milliliters for $149 is good. Whatever price you can find it for is a good price. I mean, it's hard to find these days. You don't see it too much. So if you can get it, get it. What adds the flavor to tequila, oak or water, or is it just experimental? What adds the flavor to tequila? Well, depends on what expression it's not going to be oak if you're drinking a blanco. It's agave. It's the plant. So you get a lot of the flavor from the plant. So you'll hear me when I do my reviews, I talk about tasting cooked agave. So it's the plant. It has a molassesy, cinnamon and baking spices kind of flavor to it. Very sweet, and it's just delicious. It's like dessert. It's like dessert in a plant. And when you go to a distillery, sometimes they'll hand you pieces of it. You can just sit there and eat it while you're walking around, and it's just super, super sweet and delicious. Very much like, you know, molasses, or like sweet cinnamon and baking spices kind of flavors to it. Even maybe honey-esque too. Very good. So that's what gives the flavor to tequila. Now, on an aged expressions like an anejo or repo or extra anejo, the barrel does add flavor notes to it, which is the vanilla and caramel mostly, and then you get what wood notes from it too. It may taste woody, like oak, things like that to it, and then fermentation can add a little bit of flavors to it too. But most of the flavors are supposed to come from the agave. And so if it doesn't come from the agave, there could be some flaws. Sometimes they're over oaked where you don't taste the agave at all, which I'm not a big fan of those. Those tend to be more pleasing for bourbon drinkers who are very big on barrel influence because of bourbon and what it's like. But a lot of times once they find what agave tastes like, they tend to look for more of the agave flavor, which is what I'm a big fan of. So, have you had any good mezcal repos or añejos? No, I'm not a big fan of aged mezcals. I think if a mezcal is good, it sits and sinks to you on its own without having to be put in a barrel. Typically, the only ones they put in a barrel are ones that can't stand on their own as a Joven. So I'm not a big fan of aged mezcals. I don't do them at all, honestly. I don't have any aged mezcals here. I'm a big Joven because, you know, you're going to have these wild agaves or even espadín, which is an agave that, if you do it right, has beautiful flavors. It doesn't need to be put in a barrel. If I want barrel aged stuff, I'll go whiskey or tequila, because the tequila flavor profile is pretty consistent across the board, where when you're dealing with mezcals, you can get so many different great and interesting flavors. But even in tequila, you can too. You know, when you're looking at some really good quality blancos where they, you know, really did a good job of the process and stuff to draw the flavors out in it, where it doesn't need to be aged. But for those of you that like, you know, wood and stuff, I'd stick with the repos and añejos and stuff on tequila. Let the agave sing on mezcal. That's what needs to happen. So, añejo is left in oak barrels forever. Yes. It picks up flavors, notes from the wood. Yes. Yeah, a lot of people don't like over-oaked tequila. I'm not a big fan of over-oaked tequila. All right, Sean says, I saw your review on Corrado and would like to try it. How long do you think it will be before Fermented Still carries it. It'll be up by Friday. I just got note that it's coming tomorrow, so it should be up by Friday. So we'll have it. We'll have all three expressions, but there's a very limited amount of the Weber Blue Agave one. So if that one is of interest to you, grab it quick, because there's only going to be 6 bottles of it in inventory, and then we have to wait for more inventory to come into the distributor. But we'll have plenty of the Espadin and the Cupriata too. Both of those are very good as well. What is the best smoky mezcal for a Oaxacan old fashioned? I would use Vida by Del Maguey. That's a very nice smoky mezcal. It's great for mixing, and it's fairly inexpensive. So the Del Maguey Vida is good. Nice question. I was typing. Oh, okay. So you were wondering about the Corrado too. It'll be up by Friday. Just keep watching Fermented Still. And I'll have the marketing team, the people that handle our social media and stuff. I'll have them send a blast out via email when it comes in, that it arrives for those people that want it. But just check. Hopefully they can get it up tomorrow. But if not, by the end of the day, Friday at the latest, it should be up. So it should be here by the weekend. So okay, there you go. So lots of good stuff happening. And then you guys saw the interview with Carlos. That was really good. He shared a lot of stuff. I'm really excited about the different batches of puntas when they come out. We will have every batch that they make of puntas on Ferment and Still. So I'm excited about that. And then hopefully we should be getting the 85th anniversary El Tesoro. Those people that it's going to be heavily allocated, because there's only 50 barrels is what he said. So 50 barrels equals 3,000 bottles. Is that right? 50 barrels. And it's 240. Oh no, it's more than that. So it's like 10,000 bottles. Let me see. What's the math on that? It's here we go. Let's pull up my trusty calculator. It's about that much to a barrel times 50. Yeah, 12,000 bottles. So there should be 12,000 bottles. So it's good. It's probably going to be very heavily allocated. So those people that are members on YouTube or a Discord, those are the ones that are going to probably buy up all the allotted, allocated El Tesoro 85th anniversary that we're getting. So if you're not a member and you want to get on that, I would become a member if you want to get on some of these spies. Even the Siete Leguas, when that comes in, that one's probably going to be heavily allocated too. And those for Fermented Still go to the members. So membership has its privileges. And if there's any left over after the members get what they want, then it'll be up to the public on Fermented Still, but not until then. So what is the worst tequila you ever tasted? I don't know. There's been a lot of really bad ones. Some bad ones that I've tasted. Corvo was really bad. It's like gross. El Padrino from Total Wine was just disgusting. I couldn't drink it. I had to pour it down the drain. What are some other? Oh, check out the review on the 1800. No, what is it? Not 1800. It was Maestro Doble. The purple bottle review that I did. Check out that one. That was horrible. What else? Aguacates was really bad. I was surprised how bad that one was. That one's gross. The Jose Cuervo La Familia, Reserva de Familia, the Costco bottle, that was gross. It was really cough syrupy and stuff. I had to pour that one out. there's been quite a few that I just, Jose Cuervo regular, the Cuervo Gold, that's gross. Montezuma is like disgusting as well. If you ever tried that one, there's a lot of really bad ones out there. So it's hard for me to rate which one's the worst, but there's a lot of bad ones. So I'm not going to try to rate which one's the worst, which one takes the cake as the worst. There was a lot of them that are equally bad. So but those are some ones that I wasn't a big fan of. And I've had some ones that, you know, one thing that I think that's different about me is when you see me do a review, a lot of times I'll tell you when I don't like something, even when the bottle's been provided by the brand. And there was one review that I did where I literally had the brand messaging me for like a week afterwards, you know, trying to convince me that I was wrong for not liking their brand. And, but it was not good. It's not something I was a big fan of at all. Not something I would buy or recommend. So, so there's a lot of bad stuff. You just got to be careful. That's why it's good to have a channel like this that you guys can check out the reviews, see what I say about them, and then, you know, make a decision, make an informed decision whether it's something you want to try or not and risk your money, or whether it's something you're going to pass on. So, and I'm hoping that a lot of these videos help you guys with making those decisions. That's the whole goal. I don't get paid to make any of these videos. I accept no payments. This is user supported. This is supported by you guys with the memberships and by watching and stuff. I don't require brands to pay me to do reviews or anything. I don't do that at all. I'm more about wanting to support the brands that are making good stuff by making people know about them, and then giving it a way for you guys to get access to them through Ferment and Still. And I'm sure Dos Pasiones can tell you too, because they contacted me about the Mezcal. I didn't charge them anything to do any of that stuff. They just sent me some bottles to do a review on and tell you guys about it. And they came on and we talked about it. And now, you know, we're putting it in the hands of people that want to try it, which is what it's all about. Supporting these little family brands or these little brands that don't have these huge advertising budgets like the big guys do. They're the ones that can spend the money with, you know, influencers or whoever it is they want to spend money on to get the word out. I don't accept payment on them, so I don't do that. All right, so Don R says Montezuma was your first tequila. It's really bad. When are you going to Oaxaca? I don't know. I need to plan a trip to Oaxaca. I'm going to be in Jalisco a couple of times here coming up in the next few months. So, but I don't have anything planned for Oaxaca quite yet. So, does Olmeca Altos Repo have additives? I don't think so. I reviewed it. Check my review on the channel. Tears of Verona or Ray Saul? Oh, Ray Saul all the way. Tears of Verona, I don't get any agave in it. It's very good, but it's, you know, strong with the Scotch, the sherry, and the cognacs, brandy. It's good with those kind of flavors coming through, but I don't get much agave in it. Where the Ray Saul, you get beautiful French oak and cooked agave. So I'll take Ray Saul over Tears of Verona. Tears of Verona is good, but it doesn't make my top list of ones that I visit often as far as extravaganzas go. Yeah, so I can visit. I'd love to visit you guys in Oaxaca, but we'll see. If I get enough opportunities or enough things that I need to go and do while I'm down there, then I may plan a trip to go down and visit you guys. So Don thinks both. He likes both. I'd take Ray Saul. Just drink what the hombre says. You won't go right. There you go. Victor. Thanks, Victor. I try to steer you guys right. Hi, hombre. Have you ever tried El Tesoro Don Felipe? And compare with El Tesoro. Do you find any differences? Greetings from Mexico. Well, El Tesoro de Don Felipe is El Tesoro. Unless you're talking about Tesoro. But El Tesoro de Don Felipe is El Tesoro. It's Carlos Camarena's tequila. It's the same stuff. Just most people don't say El Tesoro de Don Felipe. They just say El Tesoro. It's the same stuff. Now, if you're talking about just Tesoro, I haven't tried Tesoro, so I can't tell you what that one's like. There's a brand called Tesoro that's different bottle. It's weird, but I've never had it, and I don't have no intention of getting it. I testify that what Mark says is true. He doesn't charge it. Yep, see, there you go. I don't charge. I don't charge anything. I'm all about helping the brands get the word out. And if it's good stuff and I like it, then I tell you guys about it, and I make sure that we stock it on ferment and still so you guys can get it. That's all I do. That's all it's about. Patron Silver was our first tequila, then moved on to Casamigos. Okay. From there, I moved on to 123 Organic. It was really good. Then El Tesoro. Now G4 has been your favorite. Okay, good. Those are some good tequilas. The Casamigos was a stumble, but it's okay. We'll forgive you for that one. It's okay. We all have liked the sweet, sugary stuff before, so it's no big deal. I liked some of the sweet stuff before too. I liked Cava de Oro when I was first getting into tequila, and then I couldn't drink it after a while just because it was so sweet. But when I tried it in Mexico, I was like, "Whoa, this is delicious," and not knowing that it was all full of additives and stuff. But now I know, and I prefer the more natural tequila now. I don't have any Cava de Oro here, and it's funny because a lot of these guys are like, "Don't buy this," and they have bottles of it that they're showing you on their videos. Don't buy this. It's like, well, why do you have a bottle and you're telling me not to buy it? See, I don't even have bottles of it. I mean, I don't have a bottle of Clase Azul. I don't have a bottle of 1942. I won't spend my money on that stuff. But I get a kick out of watching some of the guys that are like, don't buy a bottle, that they already have a bottle. They bought it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I always get a kick out of that. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, go to the channel and you'll see the interview that I did last Friday with Carlos Camarena. He makes El Tesoro. His grandfather was Don Felipe. Okay, his grandfather was Don Felipe, and his grandfather, he's brothers with Felipe Camarena from El Pandillo, right? So Felipe was named after his grandfather, Don Felipe. And so they're all part of the same family there. So Carlos makes El Tesoro de Don Felipe, which we just call El Tesoro, which, do I have a bottle? I have a bottle. I gotta have a bottle. It's got the really cool Toona wheel on top of it. Where is it? Let me see. Where's my... Oh, here's one. See, this is El Tesoro, but it's El Tesoro de Don Felipe. It's the same stuff. This is a single barrel version that we got. But the older bottle said de Don Felipe. This doesn't say... They took the Don Felipe off the bottle, but the old bottle said de Don Felipe on it, and that's the same stuff. Don, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Love it when you guys give the super chats. That's awesome. Thank you, Don. You're welcome, Don. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, if you like some information I shared and want to contribute to the channel and help support the channel, if you look under the chat box, you'll see a $sign. With that, you can do super stickers or super chats. You can pick however much you want to send, and it comes to help support the channel and what I do, which is greatly appreciated. Don's also a member. If you notice by his name there, he's got a little badge thing. That is to show that he is a member of the channel. So he also supports the channel that way, which I greatly appreciate you being a member. Tierra Noble for you tonight. Okay, good. Are you drinking the anejo? That one's very oaky. It's super oaky. For me, it's over oaked. The extra anejo is I think the best of the Tierra Noble line for me. I like the extra noble though. Will Hombre be starting cigar tastings too? I do cigar stuff on, we don't talk about cigars on YouTube, but on Instagram. you can see my cigar pairings there. Don't buy a bottle of the one I just bought, LOL. Now that you mentioned it, there are a few YouTubers that do that. Yeah, which is weird. They're like, oh, yeah, here, you know, if you like this stuff, don't buy it. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm not supposed to buy it, why are you sitting there with a bottle in 1942? Why are you sitting there with a bottle of Clase Azul? Why are you buying it? And then they're like, hey, buy this instead. And it's like, well, you keep giving them all this exposure. Why are you doing that? Just stop. Hey, Naveen, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thanks for the $2 super chat. That's awesome. I don't understand why they do that. For me, it's like, I don't want to give them exposure. I don't want to, you know, instead I'd rather say, you know, and tell them, hey, if you like that, then buy this. But you won't see me. I mean, the only bottles that I have was a bottle that was given to me of Sincoro, which is, you don't even see it that often. It's downstairs. And of course, you know, I bought this one for review. And I did a review on it when it first came out, the Gran Colomia, the Kevin Hart tequila. But you look how much is still in this bottle. You know, it's funny because I saw a video with one guy where he's like, yeah, don't buy this. This is crap tequila. And it was 3/4 empty. And I was like, well, God, it looks like you polished off 3/4 of the bottle. If it was so bad, why did you drink so much of it? That one cracked me up. That was funny. What would you consider to be the most overrated tequila? Overrated. That's a tough question. I'll have to think about that one. I mean, I think, you know, Clase Azul is very overrated. 1942 is very overrated. Everyone thinks it's luxurious. It's really, look what I got. Oh, look, they got Clase Azul. It's like, so. I think those are probably the most overrated stuff that I see. I think there's a lot of stuff that's overhyped. I know a lot of people are going to get angry at me for this one. But I think when overhype goes, and things being overhyped, I think it happens quite a bit in this industry where people get so tied up on the hype that they're willing to spend a lot of money for things that I don't think are worth it. And so, like, the Fortaleza Winter Blend is one of those. I haven't been real impressed with any of the winter blends that have been out, except for the first one. The rest of them have been like, mad, but people are spending $200 on it and clamoring and killing each other to try to get a bottle of it. And then the hoarders are buying a bunch and then trying to resell them, you know, get 3 times what they paid for them for. I don't think they're worth the hype. I really do. They really don't. There's other things that I would rather spend my money on. So I think people go crazy over that. Get caught up in the FOMO and so they spend crazy money on it when they shouldn't. Clase Azul. I wish the camera would focus on your cabinet so I can make the shopping list. There's a list on the Discord of all the preferred stuff. So, preferred tequilas. We have a price for not being 100% tequila. What was that? Oh, Clase Azul. It says 100% on the bottle, though, Don. It's way overpriced for being 100% tequila still, too. Way overpriced, but it's, you know, you're paying the luxury for it. It's luxurious, right? That's what they put the pretty bottle in there and say, ooh, it's very luxurious. Ooh, he's got Clase Azul. It's like,
ooh, he's got Clase Azul, baby.
Oh yeah, he must be very important because he's got Clase Azul. Ooh.
It's like that. Can you please do a video sometime lining up the tequilas based on your agave rating so far? Oh God, that would take forever and a day to put that together. just watch the videos. Just go back and watch the videos. If there's a brand you want to know about, watch the videos, and then watch see what the rating is. And if you want to take a notebook or go through and watch the videos, and then write down what the agave rating says in a notebook for future reference, do that. But I think it's better for you guys to watch the video and get all the background information and production information, so you have that at hand when you're going to look at them. It's better than me doing a list for you guys. It's better to watch the videos, because there's a lot of really good background information and production information in there. So don't be lazy. Get all the information, so then you have more power as a consumer when you're going into the store to know what you're looking for. So I just bought a tequila called Lot Maestro Anejo. It's that one is made by the same distillery that makes Cava de Oro. It is super sweet and sugary, and it's something that Total Wine pushes people towards. It's horrible. Don't listen to Total Wine people most of the time when they try to push you into something. Don't buy El Padrino. Don't buy Lot Maestro. Don't buy any of some of the stuff they try to point you towards, because it's not good. Most of those guys don't know what they're talking about. Now there's some exceptions. I have a few guys that are Total Wine employees that are in my Tequila University group on Facebook that are learning, and they're doing really good. They know what stuff's kind of good, what stuff's additives, what stuff's not, and they're really getting the whole behind the whole natural tasting tequila thing, which is good. I'm really proud of them. They're doing a great job. You thought it does have additives, but it's still 100%. It's still called 100% agave. It still says it on the label, 100% agave. And if what's happened is you're going to say it's not 100% tequila, and people are going to tell you, well, it says on the bottle that it's 100% agave. It's 100% agave. So it's still 100. It still says 100% agave on the bottle. It still conforms under the law. That's the whole deal. You can ring the bell though. Ring the bell. Ring the bell for what? Oh, at Total Wine, you can ring the bell? I don't know what he's talking about. Hombre, what would you say the percentage of good tequila at a place like Total Wine has? A comparable chain here in the Midwest I visit on occasions, not to buy tequila, I would say about 10%. What would you say the percentage of good tequila at a place like Total Wine has? A comparable chain here in the Midwest I visit on occasion, not to buy tequila, I would say has about 10%. Well, I don't know where in the Midwest are you? Are you in Illinois or where in the Midwest? It's not that much. It's probably the same. It's pretty consistent for all these big chain stores around the country. Some Total Wines have better selections than others. But it's pretty consistent. There's some good in the Midwest. There's some good stores that have a really good selection of agave spirits, like Moreno's in Illinois. They have a great selection of stuff, huge selection. Vinny's isn't that bad at all in Chicago as well. We have Bevmo here, which you can find some good stuff there. But there's a whole lot of bad stuff as well. But there's could be a whole lot of bad stuff everywhere you shop, except of course fermented still, because we don't stock it. Just because they want to appeal to the masses, and most of the people buy that stuff. So they want to. It's like when I talk to somebody and I go, "Well, you use additives in your tequila." They say, "Well, sure." Well, 86% of the tequila drinkers buy the additive stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't know if it's 86. I'm like, okay, say over 60%. I'm like, well, still, that's a large percentage of the market. So we want to cater more towards the larger percent of the market to sell our tequila, which I completely and totally understand. And so they, want to make the sweeter stuff. So, what can you do when you know there's a lot of people out there that are still buying the sweet stuff, thinking it's 100% agave because it says it on the bottle, not knowing that there's additives that can secretly be added to it. So that's where I come in and try to do the education things. And that's why you should refer all your friends to this channel and have them subscribe so they can learn. I mean, tell everybody. Because the more people we get, we can build an army of people. So, then we can force the manufacturers to not create additive tequilas because nobody's going to be buying them anymore. That's the whole goal. So we're trying to create a movement here by guiding people more towards the better tequila, the way it's been made for generations, not the way it's been made for the last 10 years, when they got the approval to do additives because of the influx of diffusers into the marketplace and stuff like that. And, not to appease, the additives were added to appease people like Sauza and Cuervo and Herradura and stuff like that. So, because those are the ones that are spending the most on taxes with the CRT. So they get what they want. Oh, you ring the bell on the top of the cloud. Yeah. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Don says, go to ferment and still. That's right. All good tequila. You can't go wrong on ferment and still. So when are you planning to update your next YouTube 7 extra añejos that everyone should buy? I just did one not too long ago, right? It's within the last 6 months, I think. Have you checked it? There's one that's been added not too long ago. I think it was within the last 6 months, probably. If you slap the top of the Clase Azul bottle, yeah, it sounds like it does have a bell in it. That's correct. I forgot. I've never bought a bottle of it. Somebody gave me a small 200 milliliter bottle, and I did a review of that a long time ago. But I can gladly say I have never purchased a bottle of Clase Azul, so I've never contributed to that monster. I enjoy the grassiness, the earthiness I pick on 123 Organic Añejo towards the finish. Are there some similar tasting tequilas recommendations over? Absolutely, there's a ton of them. Good añejos, I recommend. One of my favorite favorite añejos is Nuevo Uno Añejo. It's great. El Tequilino is good, which was mentioned earlier. Corrido is very good. It's Corrido. Their añejo is very good. Even this Mahia Extraña is very good. This is an extra añejo, but it really drinks more in lines like a heavy añejo. So, but it's very good. There's a lot of good options. Just check out the videos on the YouTube. I have like top recommended añejo video on there. Check it out. So you really like the Blanco of one of 1, 2, 3. Yeah, have you tried El Luchador yet? The El Luchador Blanco is very good. I just got my Mundial bottle in the mail today. Apparently, it is a Carlos Camarena pick. Oh, okay. So you got one from some other store or something. Yeah, they've done a few. I got one from Old Town when they did their pick. It wasn't as good as the one that we picked for us. So I hope yours is good. Let's hit the like button, everybody. Yeah, please hit the like button. We got 21 people watching, 17 likes. Come on, guys. Click that like button for all the information I'm sharing with you guys. And for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Glad you can make it. I'm here to answer questions. And if you're new and you haven't yet subscribed, click the subscribe button. Become a subscriber. Doesn't cost anything. Click the notification bell next to it. Then you'll know anytime I go live with my Monday or Wednesday editions, as well as when I put review videos up or informational videos where I share lots of information about tequila and agave spirits. And you'll be notified that I've done so you can check them out and be informed. And it doesn't cost anything to do that. So go ahead and click that subscribe and the notification bell and become part of the Tequila Hombre family. And we'll see you here every week, right? But click those like button, click the thumbs up button, give me a thumbs up like for all the information I'm sharing. Thank you, Andy, for doing that. Here in Illinois, I shop at Moreno's in La Venata. Yeah, okay. I find that the Bennies here have sharply declined in quality for tequila. I feel like they cater more to bourbon folks. Oh, that could be. Tapatio Añejo has an earthy finish. Yeah, it does. It does. Old Town. Blah, not really. It's not great. I'm not a big fan. Next on my list is Tapatio Anejo. There you go. You may have covered this in your earlier video. If you won't mind, could you please explain what is diffuser and adding additives to tequila? I've seen your videos about additive testing. Okay, so diffuser is a big machine, right? So if you watch like if you watch the tour of La Atena that I did, of where Carlos Camarena, his distillery, you'll see they prepare the agave in there where they chop all the leaves off and stuff. It's like a white ball. And then they chop the agave in half and they take out this core part that adds bitter flavors to it. They pull that out and then they cook the agave in an oven, right? And it turns them from white to brown because it caramelizes the sugars in there. Hey, Naveen, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that, buddy. So it converts the sugars, the starches to sugars, so it can be fermented. So what happens when they have a diffuser is they don't do that step. They just take the whole agave, the whole piña. They don't take out the bittering part, and they toss it into a shredder. It goes up a conveyor belt into a shredder, and then it gets blasted with hot water, and they take all the starches out of all the fibers. And so it creates this starchy sludge, right? And then in order to convert that, there's two ways of doing that. They can boil it, or they'll treat it with acid to convert the starches to sugars. A lot of times they boil it because then there's less toxic waste they have to deal with the acid. And what they do for that is they have an autoclave that they put on its end, so it's vertical, and they use it as a boiler. They fill it up with the liquid and they boil it to convert the starches to sugars. So that's a diffuser, and so it doesn't cook the agave. The stuff that comes out of it is pretty gross tasting, and then they use a column still, which is used for vodka to distill it. So it really has it's more like agave vodka than it is tequila. So then they add flavoring to it to make it taste like tequila. There's actually artificial agave flavoring that's available. And so what happens too is for other brands, if they produce a batch that's not good, that won't stand on its own, they can sell it to people like Casa Azul and stuff, who then will put vegetable glycerin in it to make it creamier. Then they put some simple syrup in there, like sugar simple syrup in there to make it sweeter, and then vanilla and caramel flavoring and stuff in it to make it taste better. So it's not natural tasting. They add stuff to it. They custom tailor the flavor to make people want to buy it and thinking that it's better tequila than it actually is. And when you're buying additives, but there's certain limits as to how much they can use. By law, by the CRT regulations, they're only allowed 1% for each smoothing additive. So there's 4 smoothing additives, so it can be up to 4% additives, smoothing additives. And then the flavor additives, since they're dissolved in alcohol, they're really hard to test for. And because of that, you can get away with putting a bunch of additives in there, and there's no way for them to test for it to prove it. The smoothing additives, the additive test that I did, you can definitely see, find out how much is in there. And what they do, it's funny because I did that test, and I got a bunch of people saying, you can't do that. And then other people saying, well, that's the way we do it at the CRT. And they said what they do, though, is they take a test tube, they fill it up, and then they weigh it full, right? And then they heat it up and evaporate all the alcohol and water out of it. And then they weigh it again with whatever residuals in there, which is what your additives are. And then they figure out what percentage of it is the additives are, and to make sure that it's compliant with the regulations. So, so it's a valid test, no matter what people say about it. It's completely valid. What is that? Trying to understand how diffuse. Yeah, they don't spoil the tequila. They just make bad tequila because they don't actually cook the agave. So they take everything that's that's in there out, even stuff you don't want. It makes it really bitter and funky. So it's like taking, you know, food that's made from a machine versus, you know, taking a nice cut of beef and you know, cooking it on the grill, or instead you're, you know, making it through a machine with chemicals and stuff. What is this? I've been doing lime, water, ice, but it seems so plain. Hey, thank you, Sean, for the super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. I had a little agave. Okay, yeah, agave syrup's good. My favorite margarita recipe is the Tommy's margaritas. If you Google Tommy's margarita, that's the one that I'm doing the most of. So, okay, that was funny. How do they get away with that if they're not allowed to use additives? Well, like I said, they can't test for flavoring additives, so they can put additives in a Blanco and it cannot test for it. They don't know how to, there's no way for them to tell. There's no way for them to verify that there's additives in it, because flavoring additives they can dissolve. So it's the calming additives. There's 4 different calming additives that they put in there. So there's glycerin, simple syrup, I think it's artificial oak extract, and then I'm drawing a blank on the last one. Simple syrup. Glycerin, oak extract. I'm drawing a blank on the 4th one, but there's 4 of them, so they're allowed up to 4%. So it can actually be 96% agave, but they can still call it 100% agave by law. It's allowed. So that's the rule. G4 is listed as not active on Tequila Matchmaker. Have you heard of that? No, don't follow whatever Tequila Matchmaker says and stuff like that. Just ignore it. G4 is still active. What happens when something goes inactive? It just means that they haven't made a batch for a while, so they'll do a big run of it, and then they don't need to make it for a while. So, you know, it then goes inactive. It doesn't mean it's been discontinued. It just means they're not producing it at the moment because they probably have abundance of inventory, which when I was there last August, Felipe was cranking out a ton of batches of it. So it probably just went inactive. It'll come back active again. No, it doesn't mean it's not being made anymore. So don't read anything else into that like that. Oh, wow, that's been okay. You're welcome. I'm glad I could answer that for you. Is Crystallino made with inferior products? I don't see the point of going through all that aging just to filter it out at the end. It typically, you know, may not be inferior products, but it could have been that it just didn't turn out right. And so that's one way to salvage a batch. It's like if I had a batch and I over oaked it, like aged it too long, or it came out too hot or something, and I'm like, okay, rather than wasting this batch and dumping it out because it's pretty undrinkable as it is, I can run it through a carbon filter, soften it up quite a bit, take most of the flavor out of it. I can put additives in it to make it taste sweeter, and then clear all the color out of it, you know, through the carbon filtering, and call it a Crystallino, and people will buy it, and they'll actually pay a little more for it. So it's a great way to sell batches that go wrong. And so that's why you see a lot of distilleries doing that, because people will buy it, and they can actually make sometimes more money on a bad batch than they can on a good batch. So because people will pay more for Crystallino. Is agave from the Highlands generally sweeter or more fruitier than the low? Yes. Yeah, typically what happens, because the Los Altos region, the Highlands, it's colder there, it's drier than it is down in the Valle. So because of that, the agave has to fight a little harder in the wintertime to survive, and it has to fight a little harder for water. So they grow bigger and they grow sweeter there. Where down in the Valle, there's an abundance of water because all the water comes down the mountain, you know, it comes down from the hills and collects there. So there's abundance of water. And then it stays typically warmer down there. So they're typically smaller agave. So they're more floral or mineral notes when it comes to the Valle agave, and even grass here, because there's a lot of times they grow with a lot of grass and stuff around them. So even more towards the grassy side, where the Los Altos, the highlands, have a tendency of being sweeter and fruitier, which is what I typically prefer. So that's the difference between the two agave. But you can find some. It's funny because I have people go like, "Well, I just tried Artenam Selection 1146, and it's pretty sweet for a Valley tequila." It's like, well, because they made it with Altos agave. People don't understand. 1146 may be located in tequila, but they truck all of their agave from Enrique Fonseca's farm up in Los Altos. So it's all Highland agave that comes out of that distillery. They just the distillery is located in tequila, so they truck everything down from his ranch. So but people would do stuff like that all the time. It's like, well, this place has a sweet. Well, yeah, sometimes you can get a bottle of sweeter tasting tequila from Fortaleza or something. It happens. It's okay. And not every agave tastes the same, but generally that's what the sayings are. Have I grabbed any new bottles lately? Well, yeah, I just did the selection for our El Tesoro Lafrig Mundial. You can see that selection on live stream that we did on here, are still on the channel. What else? I got some reviews I gotta do. I got this sent to me, so I need to do a review of this. I'll probably crank this out this week. The Montagave. This is batch 2. So I have all the information on this. So I'll do a review of this one here coming up. I got some Insolito sent to me too. I'll do a review of that. I just did Corrado, which you guys saw. I have a few more new tequilas that are being sent to me as we speak, which when they come in, I'll talk to you guys about them and tell you more about them. So those are some new ones that are coming in. I get stuff comes in every day. I'm on a first name basis with the UPS guy and with the overnight carrier here that brings all that stuff to me. And they typically just knock on the door and go, "Here you go, hombre." And they know me as a Tequila Hombre too. So, because it says Tequila Hombre on all the packages. And they actually watch the channels too. So, so sometimes when they're really good and I'm like got something, sometimes I'll give them a free bottle when they come to drop off a package. So all my packages get taken care of really well. Oh, you got that Lot 237 Montagave? Okay, good. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Is it Lot 237? Is that what it says? I don't know. I got all the details on. They sent me all the details on it. What's the load on this? Whoops! Ouch! That's. Does it have a load on it? Oh yeah, Lot 237. Yeah, that's it. Right on the back of the label. Yeah, they sent me a bottle to see how I liked it. So I'll I will post a review on that. So do you pick bottles randomly from the shop or you wait to hear from others? No, it's sent to me. They're sent to me. Normally the brands reach out and they contact me and they go, "Hey, we really love your content. We'd love to hear what you think about our tequila. We're going to send you some bottles. What's your address?" So, or if I hear somebody coming out with a new bottle, a lot of times I'll reach out to the brand and say, "Hey, I'd like to review your product. Can you send me a bottle?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." I have that kind of relationship with the brands. They know me. It's like when I land in Mexico on a trip, my phone will blow up with distilleries wanting me to come visit them while I'm there, and a lot of times I don't have time to do that. But a lot of the brands send me bottles to do reviews. Those that aren't afraid of what I may say because they know I appreciate the good stuff. The ones that are afraid of what I'm going to say because they know they're using additives, or they know that their tequila is really not that good, they won't send me bottles. So, yeah, limited to about 1,400 bottles altogether. Enjoy. Can't wait for the review. Oh, yeah. 1,400? What did they tell me? Let me see what they said. Uh, 1,422 bottles. Yeah. There's only 1,422 bottles. Yeah. Okay, so I've got all the information about that, and I'll include it in the review when I do it. So we'll see what happens. I know it's made at Cascaween, which they typically make pretty good stuff. What is this? I'll be in April visiting Cascaween and Fortaleza Distillery. Can you recommend any distilleries to visit? Well, if you're going to Fortaleza, might as well go to El Tequilano right next door. It's right across the street from it. And see Tony over there and take a tour. You can go to the hotel there too. They have really good food. Last time I was in Tequila, we ate it there like 3 times. The food was so good. But the Casa Sayas Hotel, and then you can take the tour of the distillery. It's right there. And then across the street, next to El Tequilano is Arete right there, which is really good too. It's a small distillery. It won't take you very long to walk your way through it. That one's very good too. But, there's no tasting room at Arete. You basically have to go wait for the bar across the street to open up. And that's their bar. And then you can pick up some bottles there if you want. But Fortaleza, they'll let you taste in the cave. And then if you get set up with a tour from El Tequilano, they'll let you taste in the restaurant. Both of them are very good tequilas. Arete and El Tequilano are very good. And it's a very good distillery. Fun tour. But if you're down there, those are good. And then Cascaween's a little distance away in El Arenal. And it's a nice tour. It's a good distillery. If my man Jesse there is doing your tour, make sure you say that Hombre says hi. Jesse's a cool kid. All right, you guys. I think that's about it, right? We're 3 minutes over, so I'm going to call it a night and go out and enjoy a stogie. So make sure if you're not following Instagram, follow on Instagram. I may go Instagram live tonight if I so inclined, feel like it. So we'll do some more questions and answers on Instagram. So make sure you go follow on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe here if you're new and haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you click that like button. Give me a like for the information I shared. And more importantly, remember, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So keep watching my reviews. Listen for my recommendations. And if you follow them along, you'll be in great shape. All right, guys. Salud. Have a good night.